The Hood Theologian Podcast with your host, King 7.
All right. Thank y'all for joining. Listen, today's episode is it was well thought out, and I had a major wrench thrown in my day. But I am committed to being here, so I'm not winging it per se, but y'all gonna get a much more raw version of, you know, what's finna happen. So, listen, it's a lot going on in the world, social media, all those, whatever. By the way, please like, please share, comment. Ike, what's happening? Thank you for stopping through. That's my dog. Oh, yeah, by the way, the other reason why I'm not going to be on here really long is because tomorrow night, we will be on the Randomest Show with my homeboy, Mr. Ears to the City himself, Ike Copeland. Y'all are missing out on a phenomenal talent. And I ain't saying it because of my best friend. I promise you I'm not. It's actually ugly. But nonetheless, super talented, loves God, gonna keep it real with you. And, you know, that's one of the things that I pride myself on is quality relationships. But not yes men, if that makes sense. And that kind of ties into the title. But like I said, tomorrow night at what time we on, Ike? 7-ish? Yeah. Tomorrow night, 7-ish o'clock, as we do always around this time, we will be on the Randomish with Ike show. And when I say it's one of them, it's going to be one of them. That said, title tonight is You Can't Compete Where You Can't Compare. And I'm going to get to a couple light competition subjects before I dive into my I guess you call it meat and potatoes of this thing, right? So y'all know, like, as soon as the football season goes into the playoffs, everybody that didn't make it, yeah, 7-ish. Everybody that didn't make it to the playoffs, a lot of times teams are restructured. And the reason why I proudly wear this Falcons hat is because we fired our head coach. I know somebody say you shouldn't be happy about somebody losing their job, but it's professional sports and entertainment. So, yeah, a lot of people are making changes. Mike Vrabel is no longer the coach of Tennessee Titans. Not quite sure what the Seahawks are doing. I know they were talking about their head coach being reassigned to another role. Pete Carroll was a good coach, in my opinion, as far as coaching goes. You know, he managed a lot of raw talent and raw brothers. You know what I'm saying? He was able to make some good things happen out there in Seattle. Yeah, so the thing is that when you got a team and you trying to compete for this national championship, right? You got to have the positions and the pieces in place in order to ensure that you know what I'm saying, that you're competing at the level that you want to, because, you know, people getting paid millions of dollars. So, you know, say what you will, but, you know, these folks are well paid. And so, you know, compensation is not a trade-off for a lack of professionalism or delivering results. You know what I'm saying? Like, we expect you to deliver, and we're gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're not gonna get into the other elements of sports that a lot of people like to bring in. Of course, like I said, one is entertainment. So for me, I like football. I like basketball. You're gonna hear about it here from time to time, right? And, you know, like when it comes to competing, you know, like the Falcons had pieces in place that, except for, you know, quarterback, I don't care what nobody say, we ain't had a good quarterback in a while. I mean, Matt Ryan, when he first was like throwing to Julio, he was all right. He hit a decline though. I don't care what nobody say. He had a good quarterback rating, but I mean, let's be clear, it's not turning into results for some reason, and it wasn't just because the defense wasn't holding. Now, everybody knows about the Super Bowl. It still hurts. Be nice, or I will block you. That was a defensive failure, of course. But I mean, since then, you know, our defense has really stepped it up. You know what I'm saying? So we can't really say that it's still the defense's fault. You know, Ritter and Heineke, that's just not what we need. You know what I'm saying? But we're trying to compete, and we can't compete where we can't compare. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, moves are made, changes are done in this offseason that will help my poor Falcons, because we need some help. Hey, man, Leezy, you stepped through. I appreciate it. I'm late, so I can't hold that against you. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing, right? Here's the standard. I hold myself to the same standard in my own personal life. Now, there are areas where I can get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to eating healthy, I've been battling, you know what I'm saying, some physical challenges. All praise to the Most High, I made it through. Battling some financial challenges. All praise to the Most High, I'm getting through it. But I still hold myself to that same standard. You feel what I'm saying? And if you can't compare in these levels where you're trying to compete, you need to make adjustments. So when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, managing your money better, and you can't say I want a house and I'm in faith, God gonna make it happen. You ain't making the proper steps on this side. He is a rewarder of faith, but faith without works is dead. So let's not play ourselves into thinking that just because I believe it, it's gonna happen. No, there is a certain element of due diligence you're gonna have to put into that. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh well, I'm skinny in the name of Jesus. No, you fat. And that's okay if you want to be fat, but just don't play like you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand your level. And that's the thing. I'm gonna just go ahead and slide to the main topic. Like, y'all, listen. By the way, let me know how it looks on there, because I had to make an investment this week in what I felt like God told me to do. You feel what I'm saying? Which is the podcast, which is, you know what I'm saying, music and things like that. I had to make an investment because I know what the standard is. Everybody has seen the Cat Williams interview. You know what I'm saying? And while the topics that he was talking about was the topics he was talking about, many of which I'm kind of in agreement with, the presentation of Shannon Sharp's show is top notch. Not arguable. You cannot debate. You can't. And there are others who probably have the same amount of resources that are not performing at that level. And I have seen some of them people. Exactly. Hey, man, thank you for sliding through. Prayers, I appreciate you. Listen, if you gonna hate on somebody else, at least have your stuff together. or just keep your mouth shut. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're not competition because you can't compare. You're not even in the conversation. You feel what I'm saying? And so I had to make an investment because I'm doing a podcast. I mean, it's on Facebook or whatever. I mean, it'll be on Apple Podcasts one day, whatever. But I mean, that ain't nothing but a couple button clicks. But listen, what I'm saying is that you cannot say that you are, you know what I'm saying, Benji, what's going on? Hey, man, the Track Slayers is in here today. Listen, they held me accountable on so many levels, mostly Call of Duty, but in life too. You know what I'm saying? Because we not letting none of that slide. If you are not living and performing up to the level that you were professing, you need to step back, get yourself together. Like Lee just said, faith without action is dead. You can't pretend like you somewhere that you're not. And here's the thing, right? Going back to this entertainment aspect, I got a lot of people in the faith, you know what I'm saying, that are trying to do what they feel is right because they want to represent God. Oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say whether or not God done told you to do something. That ain't my business. However, my people, we got to understand if, yeah, mostly Call of Duty, but in life too. Solo, what up? We have to understand that we can't say I'm here when you literally ain't there. You feel what I'm saying? Like we since we talking about Call of Duty, we just did last quarter. We just did our quarterly rankings, and for most people that don't mean nothing, but it's a lot of us, and our numbers are growing. We're a whole clan on whatever, right? But you can't cap me down talking about how good of a player you are, and when it's time to do the rankings, you trash. You're wasting your breath, my time, and honestly your energy. Like, just stop. And it's not to say that you can't be where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things, I've understood my level and said, you know what? I'm not where I'm trying to be. In Call of Duty, I realized I'm not as trash as I used to be. But they'll tell you, all of them in here, they'll tell you, I'm not going to be up there talking about, man, I'm the best. No. I fell literally right in the middle. But I used to be like at the end, at a point in time. You know what I'm saying? They all here, so they can attest to this. My point is, listen, if you are not making the moves to better yourself, don't say that, you know what I'm saying, that somebody else, one, is the issue, and two, that you at that level. The people that are hating on Shannon Sharp's show and stuff like that, and I've seen their podcast look bad. Forget who the guest was. He could have had Mary Had a Little Lamb on there, but it looked good. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, at what point in time are you going to stop playing yourself? Because everybody else can see. Everybody else can see what's going on. And you can lie to people that want to make you feel good, but, like, how long you going to let yes men be around? Like, I mean, you know. Like, let's be real. You look in that same toothpaste filled up mirror every morning and know you ain't got everything together. You see you. Before anybody else got to look at your ugly tail, we know who we are when we look in that mirror. I'm like, okay, you know what? And I'm not talking about appearance, you know what I'm saying? Unless you know that you got goals. But you know there are things I need to make this adjustment. Like I said a couple weeks ago, just be 1% better today than you were yesterday. Right? Why not? Because here's the thing. When it comes to competing, if you are a person that's professing any type of professionalism, what's going on, baby? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping through. If you're a person professing to be like going towards this level, you have to be honest with yourself. And sometimes you just got to make those investments whether it's a mental investment, whether it's a financial investment, whether it's a spiritual investment, in order to get to the level that you're trying to get to. Stop playing yourself. You cannot compete where you can't compare. And this is not saying, oh, well, God's not a respecter of persons. Of course he ain't, but he gonna respect some faith. And if you ain't putting no actions with that faith, you still playing yourself. So miss me with all the little cliche jargon that you could try to slide in there to make yourself look like something that you're not. Because you're not fooling nobody but you. You not. You not fooling nobody but yourself. Right? And I'm talking about, I want to make sure I say this the right way. I see things from people that are calling themselves competing with mainstream on whatever level, and I look at the quality of some of the stuff, and it really makes my heart cringe. Cringe, y'all, because check this out, right? One, you say you representing God, so that's a whole nother level of responsibility. I don't care what you say. But then you representing yourself, your family, your mama, your dog. Like, somebody gonna get clowned if you don't start stepping it up. Or step one, realize your level. Realize your level and accept it. Now, does that mean that there ain't no room for growth? No. Anything that ain't growing is dead. I'm not saying don't grow. Scale at your ability, scale at your pace, absolutely scale, without a doubt. Research, find out stuff. Man, let me tell y'all, I got OBS open right now. I got a ring light that I stole from my wife hanging on my TV, but I got virtual DJ right here. I got a mic that my homeboy blessed me with. These are investments that I had to make to at least try to be. Y'all, I used to watch, check this out, right? Funny story. Y'all all know, y'all had the AT&T man, the cable man, somebody coming to your house, putting cords all around the house, trying to make it look neat because they was installing your cable or your phone, right? Everybody that had it happen at least once in your lifetime. You done seen it. My thing is this, right? So in my house, my router's all the way in the bedroom. And I know that my stream is choppy. So what did I do? I sought out wisdom. I hit up my brother Dante, Monologue. I was like, hey man, I know what your internet like at your house because I've been there. How is the stream so clear? He was like, dog, you got a hardwire into your laptop. So common sense, but it's just a step that I skipped, trying to move too fast. And don't get me wrong, I know that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but I said, okay, well, what I got to do? I had to run a 70+ foot cable from my room to the studio. Now, I got a wife that's going to be like, nigga, you not finna just have this cord running through the house. I can't do that. So I had to think back to the experiences of watching all these cats getting $25 an hour for or more per job, you know what I'm saying, to literally just come in, run some stuff underneath this and this and that. It took me a grand total of maybe an hour, if that, just to, one, accomplish my goal, two, make it aesthetically pleasing for my household. I still got to make an adjustment because now my son complaining, but he got a right to. But still, the point is, if you are not making these steps, you cannot be considered to be a part of the conversation. You cannot compete where you can't compare. Period. You ain't got to cap me down. Stop lying to yourself. I can't sit up here and tell y'all that I feel like the Most High gave me an assignment to come in here and do this podcast, and I'll never do nothing to make it better. I don't do nothing. My first couple ones, I ain't had this mic. I was fortunate enough to have my homeboy was like, hey, bro, you need to fix that. But I'm not gonna be like, man, no, I think it's straight. I got a condenser mic. That is a studio microphone, not meant for podcasts. That's why it's over there in the corner now, to do what it's supposed to do in the studio. Point is, you got to recognize your level. And I'm not saying you got to accept mediocre stuff. Like I said, scale at your pace. Other thing that I ask you is, what are you doing it for? Now, if you're just doing it because, whatever, then be okay with whatever you get. Be okay with whatever results. Be okay with people saying it sucks, and literally don't let that matter to you. Right? I mean, that just seems fair. Or a deeper question than that is, if you feel like this is something that you called to do because you're on an assignment from the Most High, or you feel like you have a spiritual assignment or inspiration or whatever behind what you're doing, here's my question to you. If nobody likes, if nobody streams, if nobody shows up, and it don't grow, are you still willing to do it? I'm going to go ahead and tell you the answer that I've had many times before now. My answer was no. And let me be honest with you. When my answer was no, I didn't get the results that I needed. I did not get the response first in life, but two, from God, that I needed. Why is that? Because if this is something that you're on this spiritual assignment or whatever to do, you ain't doing it for people. You ain't doing it for likes. You're not doing it to get popular. You're not doing it for money. Now, let's be clear. The Bible even say money answers all things. So let's be clear. I'm not saying you're supposed to be poor. You're supposed to be broke. I ain't saying that in one at all, right? What I am saying is that what's your heart talking about? I do this because I'm trying to honor the Most High the best I can, and I know that has a benefit for my family. Everything else that comes is icing on the cake for me. But I want to do it at a level that makes me, one, honor God, two, honor my own freaking dignity. You feel what I'm talking about? And there's no way that I can really say I'm doing the best that I can and that be it. Pharaoh hit me up today. He was like, man, you all right? I was like, bruh, he here right now. I said, I would be lying, or if I don't say anything other than I'm trusting God, I will be negative. But I had to keep my tunnel vision on because I got people depending on me. If nothing else, for peace of mind. Not to mention food, clothes, rides, basketball, being a husband. Like, not to mention those things. We just talking about peace of mind. I can't afford to be off. Also, that being said, I can't afford to not compete. So, if I'm going to compete, I'm going to compare. If I'm submitting my pictures for a magazine and I'm trying to get a recognition, my picture's going to be crisp. They not going to be fuzzy. They not going to be blurry. If I'm sending my music to a radio station, I'm sending them 5 different versions. The instrumental, the acapella, the radio, all of that. How can you say that you're ready for a level that you're not even preparing yourself to operate at? Even if it ain't for nothing else other than your family. If it ain't nothing else other than to honor God. Bruh, come on. Some of y'all break my heart, man. And I try to be understanding of the fact that some people don't have the resources, right? Some people don't have the ability. And then I'm always reminded of this dude in Africa. I don't know the current status of his story. But this dude has basketball NBA aspirations, right? That's why I don't give my son no breaks. This dude has NBA aspirations, don't got nothing but a ball. Don't have a backboard, a goal, don't have weights, none of that. But it never stopped him from working out. It never stopped him from working out. This dude, his weight, he filled up water bottles for his weights, was bench pressing water bottles, filled up a tub full of something heavy and had some ropes and was running up the hill. You know what I'm saying? Like he was home making his whole workout program. Erica, what's going on? Thank you for sliding through. But like this man could make it. And it looked like he had a shot. It looked like he had a shot. Like he may be able to actually shoot. But he could not have an excuse. So it's no way I would sit up here and let a 15-year-old with access to the gym give me an excuse. Because I'm not going to give you one. And this man in Africa, he doing everything homemade. He made his own basketball goal. I'm talking about like, I don't even know what it was like. Looked like wood or something. And a basket, looked like a fruit basket. But he getting the job done. The job is getting done. So I'm sorry. I can't give you that much leeway. I can't give you that much mercy when it comes to doing what the heck you're supposed to do. If it's what you're supposed to, if it's what you say that you're supposed to be doing. Now, if it's not, stop. You in the way. Let somebody else get that opportunity. Let somebody else get those resources. Because I'm going to tell you something else. God is not going to wait on you for forever either. Just saying. He's not. It says, many are called, but the chosen a few. You know why that is? I called you, but you didn't answer. I called you, but you made an excuse. I called you because you didn't want to compete. I called you because you weren't willing to try to compare. So I had to choose somebody else. I'm just saying, folks, like, at what point in time are we going to stop letting excuses be the reason that we're not where we should be? I'm not talking about where we want to be. Have those aspirations. Have those aspirations. But I asked my son that question. I was talking about, if nobody cares, if would you still want to do it? If he said yes, okay, I can get behind that, because now I know you're serious. If somebody came to me and said, listen, man, I'm not in this for the money. I'm just trying to honor God and do the best that I can. You know what I'm saying? Can you help me, though? I want to get better, though. All of my resources are at your disposal, as long as it's not taken away from nothing I got going on. Here's why. Because I know what it's like to have to figure out how to do your own graphics. I know what it's like to figure out how to do your own beats, your own engineering. All of that I did, not patting myself on the back, all praise to the Most High. But I know what it's like. Me and Ike sat in my daddy trailer figuring out how to work computer beats before niggas was doing it, when it was not popular. We was in my dad's trailer after school for months trying to figure out how to work Fruity Loops. Now look at this man. Got production with City Girls. I'm talking about getting Grammys. Like, you can't tell me that diligence doesn't pay off. I'm tell you what don't pay. Excuses. Blaming other people. Trying to say that somebody else is in your way. man, you in your way. You're in your own way. You are blocking your own abundance. It's available. The Bible says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. That means that it really should only take an application of understanding to go get it. Not even necessarily hard labor and sweating and losing your mind. No. The Bible says he'll keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on him. So that means that if I got my life in order, excuses will make you pay with regret. That's perfect. If I got my life in order, then I can understand how to seek out the wisdom that I'm looking for or that I'm trying to get in order to get where I'm trying to go without losing my freaking mind. Let me tell y'all, today was a fight. I'm not putting y'all all in my business, but today was a fight. Not one time did I ever lose my cool. I got frustrated as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. But not one time did I lose my cool. Why? Because I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do the best I can with the resource that I'm given. Now, God, I did my part. Your turn. Now I can rest because all the work that I needed to do has been done. No stone was left unturned that wasn't reasonable. Now, if it was unreasonable, of course I could have, did a couple extra things a day that would have probably landed me in jail. But that's not wisdom. So no reasonable stone was left unturned. Now, Father, I did what I was supposed to do. Your turn. But I'm not sitting here making an excuse because I can't pay with regret. There was a quote that I put up on my Instagram, and I've made it my mantra now. The price of humility is far less than the cost of pride. The price of humility is far less than the cost of pride. What does that have to do with what I'm saying? Sometimes when you know you ain't ready to compete at the level that you say you're trying to be at, you need to holler at somebody else. I got a dope circle around me. I praise God for every single one of y'all. Because I cannot do it on my own. I will do the best that I can, and I'm not going to make no excuses, but I got a dope circle around me. If I need to ask Pharaoh, how did you do this with your voice on this record? He going to tell me. If I need to ask Erica, how did you scale this gourmet palette business? Like, I got people around me that I'm not scared to ask. Y'all be so prideful, and then you put out trash. Make that make sense. I got a Grammy-nominated producer that's my best friend that stay less than 15 minutes away from me. Why would I not ask him, how can I make my mixes sound better? Make it make sense? But you're so full of pride because you're trying to be like the next man and you put out some trash. Make that make sense. You're not honoring God. You're not honoring yourself. You're making yourself look crazy. I don't know. I just don't operate in the realm of fake it till you make it. No. Oh, facts. My wife is my number one help. Perfectly met for me. Meet however, whatever the Bible meant by that. She is the meat for me, 100%. She's my number one fan and supporter and help, without a doubt. But how y'all have people around y'all? Y'all be hating on your homies because they doing better than you. That's the part I don't be understanding. How can you hate on your people for doing better than you when they would probably pull you up if you wasn't trying to hate? They not stupid. They know what hate sound like. Oh, man. Funny story. Since some of my track slayers is on here, everybody be talking about one of our homies, Zay, be hacking. Whether he is or not, it's documented that the boy can play some. You feel what I'm saying? He can play. It would be senseless to never ask him, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? Of course, jokes and things like that is one thing. But when you literally hating on your partners and they could take you to another level, you sound crazy. I don't know. So, anyway, you can't compete where you can't compare. So either stop competing or start comparing. Can't have it both ways. And the thing that I want everybody to understand is that it's not so much about competition in the sense of I'm better than you or anything like that, right? It's about fulfilling your purpose. I got that I know of. I'm gonna scroll up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 business owners that I've seen tap in today. And that's not counting the likes. I can't see the likes on this chat. I'm just talking about business owners that I can see. I don't know everything about the industries that they're all in. Nick and his wife, my homegirl Marciera, they running it. If you want to know about farming, I mean, like horses and car transport, Nicholas Carr, y'all need to holler at him. I don't know if you're still here, Nick, but my point is like, if there's something I wanted to get into and I know them, I'm not finna be like, I'm about to start taking care of horses and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna have to figure it out because they over there, they think they too good. One, I know that's not even true, but I would sound crazy to not hit them up. Pharaoh, I'm talking about this man. These people are talented that you're around. I'm not even gonna blow my circle up that much. Even though I think I got one of the dopest circles in the world, I'm not even gonna blow them up that much. Whoever y'all are around, they're dope too. But you too busy hating on them. You ain't never gonna be able to compete. Are you trying to fulfill your purpose? Or are you just, want to run your mouth? I get it. You ain't got to lie to me. Keep it real with me, but also keep it real with yourself. Anyway, like I said, this was going to be a little bit different. Everything I do, I try to be rooted or based off of the Word of God. I quoted these scriptures. If anybody needs to know the actual references, I can go back and post them. Like I said, today was a fight, so I didn't actually get a chance to pull them out and give y'all the, all that across the screen like I wanted to. But listen, man, you cannot compete where you can't compare. You cannot compete where you can't compare. You cannot put out trash product and expect to be taken serious. I'm talking about with your life. I'm talking about with your business. I'm talking about with your spirit. You cannot put out trash product and expect to be taken serious, because there's somebody else waiting for that opportunity that's working harder than you, that's taking it more serious than you, that is not willing to allow excuses to be the reason that they don't get the best out of life concerning whatever their aspirations are. Once you and your excuses get out the way, they're going to take off. Watch. Don't do that to yourself. I personally have watched opportunities that I probably could have had, that I made excuses for, and I was not able to reap the benefits of it. But I can't sit there and hate on the next man because of what they done got and what happened with them. Sometimes when it don't happen, I be thinking God, was preserving me. But other than that, you know the difference. So we ain't even gonna play that game. You know the difference. Anyway, it's your dog King 7. I appreciate y'all stopping through. I'm not posting my Cash App no more. If y'all want it, I'll give it to you. This is not that show. This is not the woe is me, help me out. Yes, stuff costs money. Yes, stuff costs money. But I rather people do it out of the goodness of their heart versus being compelled. You know what I'm saying? So, unless God tell me to do something different. Now, if he tell me to do it, then, strike out everything I just said. But I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your week. Like I said, tomorrow we are going to be on the Randomist show with Ike at 7-ish. Tune in. It's going to be different. It's going to be different than this one because, it's two people. You know what I'm saying? But I will have guests soon. And we're going to go in a different direction. Business owners, people in different walks of life, in the faith. But yeah, I wanted to dedicate this amount of time, to just letting y'all know I'm serious. And I'm going to do my best, most high willing, to present to y'all a quality product every single week. I'm going to step it up every single week. I'm working on the being on time thing. But other than that, y'all will see. It's your dog King 7. I appreciate y'all stopping through. See y'all next week. Tune in tomorrow. Randomish is going to be on. I'm going to share it. It's going to be on Facebook, though. All right? Love y'all.